Hello everyone and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Now what I've got for you today is supposed to be an absolute banger of Terran versus Zerg, where we find ourselves on a map called Emerald Princess. And while that name, it does sound like a, I don't know, like a new Zelda game to me. The Legend of Zelda, Emerald Princess. I mean, maybe not. Anyways, yeah, you may not be familiar with this map. I am not either. This is a game that was recently played during the map contest tournament, where different pro players got to play on the different maps. And while I did feature the top 5 of the best maps from this particular event on my YouTube channel, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, this map, it did not make it into the top 5. Now, from what I've heard, long story short, this game right here on Emerald Princess is amazing, so we're gonna find out together exactly what ended up going down. Now, spoiler alert, I know that this is a longer game of TVZ. Apparently, our Red Terran player plans on winning within the next 3 minutes. So, I guess he'll be unsuccessful. Anyways, playing here with the Red Terran SCVs in the top right-hand corner of Emerald Princess. We have none other than Clem. And his opponent, no, not sending the Overlords in the right direction. So, I do believe that this Proxy Reaper stuff is going to be unscouted, judging by the fact that at least the Terran is already mining a little bit of gas. Yeah, this should be a Reaper play. With the orange Zerg drones from Poland, we are looking at Elazer's main hatchery. Alrighty, so, Emerald Princess. I have never seen a game on this map before either. Let us have a look around. So, the main base does seem pretty big. So, I think what Clem wants to do is probably jump with, I guess, like a two-step right here into the main base of the Zerg. On some maps, honestly, the creep around the main hatchery is already enough to almost like connect the natural and the main together. In this particular case, that's not going to happen. Elazer definitely will need like a creep tumor over here to connect those bases. And that does mean it's going to be a little bit trickier for those queens to help each other out. I think that's exactly the reason why Clem has decided to put those barracks on the other side of the map. Other than that, what do we have? Natural, third base, third base, third base. I guess you have a couple of different options. There's a few, what seem to be like speed-up circles with like rocks in the middle of them. Alright, even a bunker is coming up right now for Clem. Ugh. Already one drone goes down as well. Not a great start here for our orange Zerg player. Yeah, if this bunker finishes actually, it's going to be quite tricky, I guess, for the Zerg to break this. And at this point, I don't really see exactly how he's going to be able to deny this. I guess just letting the spine crawler finish is actually a good idea, yeah. Alright, there's the queen out. Once the spine finishes, I guess if you, like, put down a creep tumor over here or so, and then, like, I don't know, put the spine over in this spot, it's going to be quite hard for additional Reapers to go into the main base. There is a little ramp right there in the natural expo, so it's not like the Reapers could just go around and then start harassing the workers in the natural mineral line. Yeah, I think that's probably the plan right here. Anyways, link speed is quite late, though. It's going to be a while until that one is done. Obviously, the drones right there that were mining gas were harassed, so I guess the first little bit of improvement right here for Elazer would be to take that gas geyser instead of the one right here at the bottom. Anyways, I believe that for many of these players in this tournament as well, this is the first time they are playing games on these maps. Maybe the second time, but they don't have a whole lot of experience on them. So, yeah, we gotta take some of their moves with a grain of salt, but that's okay. I mean, honestly, this wasn't even that bad. Right? How many drones went down? 2 drones, obviously the SCV was killed as well. Yeah, that was actually not nearly as successful as I thought it would be. In the meantime, though, there is a reactor coming up on a factory. Command center at home. Starport is also coming up right here for Mr. Clem. Looks like the barracks have already been floated off. Could be a little bit of a mech transition here as well for Clem, because it's gonna take a while until this first barracks goes back home. Anyways, yeah, spine crawler not in a great spot yet. So for the time being, I mean, link speed is just about to finish up. Clem actually needs to get out of here. Oh, yeah, here's link speed. Oh, God, he overstayed his welcome. Really good surround right here by Elazer. And you know what? What I thought was actually going to be pretty good right here for our Terran turns out to be pretty, pretty bad overall. Follow-up already, though, here for Clem. He's going to be going into the fusion core. All right. Now, by the way, from the TOMC 16, I did feature the top 5 of the maps. So this map, it didn't make it into the top 5, but I mean, in the past, Blizzard has also just randomly put some of the other maps that weren't even rated very highly onto the StarCraft 2 ladder anyways. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this map isn't going to be used in one of the future map pools. But if you are interested in checking out some of those other replays as well, I'll go ahead and post links to the best maps from the TOMC 16 down below in the description of this video. Alrighty. So, I think we have reached a bit of a lull in the game. Clem probably opening up with battle cruisers, as well as a third CC right now. I mean, battle cruisers do take forever to produce, and he doesn't even have 400 minerals right now, so... I don't think we're gonna really see a whole lot of action here in this game until that battle cruiser is out. Alright, so let's have a look. Main base, very large, right? Yeah, definitely very big. Natural Expo, a little bit smaller. Looks like a standard wall off right here on top of the ramp. Third base coming up on the left side of the map, and then I guess you have a couple of different options. So if you want over here as well as one over there. There's another base over here very close to the middle of the map. There's a lot of expansions. It would be kind of funny if, like, the very first game I see on Emerald Princess is going to be one where the entire map mines out. That would be something. Elazer, by the way, right now scouting out the fusion core, so he knows that a battlecruiser is coming up very soon. So we see speed up circles in the bottom right as well as the top left. So normally this would be quite a lot of terrain to cover, but I guess units are going to be able to go through that quite quickly. And the same will happen, I guess, once those rocks are down in the middle. So it's actually only one targetable set of rocks here with 2,000 health on them in total. And once, I guess, those rocks are down, yeah, units are going to be able to maneuver around the map very quickly. So I haven't seen a game on this map before, but initial impressions, yeah, very good, right? Seems pretty nice. It is, by the way, going to be a bio follow-up here for Clem. Even though that barracks took a while to float all the way back home, eventually Stimpack is going to finish up. Battlecruiser in the main base, by the way. Haven't even paid attention to it yet. But, I mean, with the amount of heads-up time here that Elazer had, the Queens were waiting for it. The Spore Crawlers were already built. Hellions not really poking into the third base either, because apparently Elazer has 2 sets of Queens here. Yeah, and whenever you're settling on, like, getting one Creep Tumor kill or maybe an Overlord, you know that things haven't really gone your way with the Battlecruiser start. Alright. An Overseer over here looking around as well, checking whether or not there's going to be an additional Battlecruiser as a follow-up, but it turns out that is not the case. So Elazer, even though he knows that it's not going to be more Battlecruiser production, he still plans down the Spire anyways. Maybe he started this one already reactively. You can still use the Spire, of course, not for Corruptors, but you can always go into Mutalisks as well if you want to. Clem going into the 1-1 upgrades. Additional barracks are coming up as well, so that's barracks 4 and 5. One SCV is jamming out right there in the back of the, the mineral line, but I don't think it's going to be able to leave. No, it's locked itself in, which is a little bit sad. So, good old Mutaling Bane, I believe, here for Zerg. Nice move here by Elazer. Pooping some Overlord right there, or pooping some creep with the Overlord, and I'm putting down some tumors. Not bad whatsoever. And Clem seems to be going for the good old Bio-Terran army here instead. So, this is the classical StarCraft 2 game, right? Mutaling Bane going up against... Oh my god, that's fast. Going up against Marine Medivac Siege Tank. I gotta say, we really are blessed with the map makers in the StarCraft community. Like, they're some of the unsung heroes in the StarCraft 2 world. Because honestly, the maps are so incredibly important when it comes to the balance of the game. And this map so far seems excellent. The fact that it didn't make it into the top 5 shows the quality of maps that we have come to apparently expect now, right? I mean, I sound like a boomer whenever I talk about this, but honestly, like the early days of StarCraft 2, if there's one thing that's like blatantly obvious, is that the maps really sucked. The maps in the early days of StarCraft really weren't particularly good, and we've come a very long way. We've got so many good maps to choose from between, or to choose between these days. I mean, oh my god. Well, that's not too good for those Mutalisks. A couple of them do end up going down. That being said, the entire Terran army is also pushed back. I don't see any siege tanks with this army, which is, yeah, I guess the main reason why that push wasn't all too successful. 7 Reapers down, 6 Hellions down as well. Clem, though, happily macroing up, going into the +2/+2 already, which is wonderful. Especially considering that early game start, the 2-2 is actually quite early. And he's already going into the Drilling Claws upgrade as well. Blizzard, of course, did announce that we are going to be getting a balance patch in the near future. One of the things they look to address is indeed the Drilling Claws. So, enjoy your quick burrowing Widow Mines while they last, Mr. Clem. In case you want to go check that out, I'll go ahead and include a link to that in the top right-hand corner of this video, so you can go check it out as well. Couple of minor changes that, yeah, sleeping it over for a little bit. I mean, I recorded that video with my initial impressions of it, well, yesterday, right? Like literally 3 minutes after it was announced. Yeah, sleeping it over, I gotta say, I'm actually very excited for it. I mean, they're all relatively small changes. And as long as we'll see follow-up changes in the future as well. I actually really like the idea. Like, having some of those minor patches maybe twice a year or so with, like, maybe this is me being greedy, right? But imagine, like, twice a year we get small balance changes to address the most obvious problems in the game, and then also, like, a new ladder map pool. That would be really nice. That would change a lot. That would keep this game very fresh. Doesn't even have to be that much. But especially the mindset that now, you know, a lot of the pro players are also able to, like, directly reach out to Blizzard and you know, have them help create the patches. It's pretty nice. Anyways, Planetary Fortress morphing in the right side of the map. That does feel incredibly far away, right? Ooh, nice split right there by Elazer. I gotta say, this does feel like an enormous map. The princess is, in fact, in another castle. The Emerald Princess, that is. Anyways. Elazer is looking for her. She might be in the planetary. She might be... Oh, the Widow Mines! Okay. Once again, very good splits right there by Elazer. Picking out the units that are being targeted and then trying to make sure that it doesn't deal too much damage, okay? Bunch of SCVs end up going down as well, but so far, nothing that Clem is really not going to be able to recover from. New base coming up here as well for Elazer. He's been taking the entire top left-hand corner of the map, or I guess the entire left side of the map instead. So maybe Clem already anticipated that there's going to be resources over here that are being gathered, but it's just going to be a hatchery for now that's building. Ooh, I like this. Always a big fan of, like, a Thor inside of a Medivac chasing down Mutalisks. It's a little bit risky, but it is really fun. One of those high-risk, high-rewards type of moves. Battlecruiser at this point does have tactical jump on cooldown. Mutas are even being transfused right now. Soon the queens won't be able to transfuse anymore off creep either, right? That's an interesting change. Very significant one too. Alright. I like what Elazer is doing though, right? So not something that we normally see. A lot of Zerg players keep their units in one big bowl. So they have like one big ball of queens and then one big ball of mutas. But apparently Elazer putting them on separate control groups. And, well, now it's going to allow him to create a pretty massive surround over here. Yeah. I'm very impressed with the way that Elazer is playing this so far. Good stuff. These Medivacs are really units you do not want to... Yeah, you don't want to lose. And so far, Clem is... well, dropping them like flies. Alright. Still down? Nah, there's a pesky little Zergling buried underneath this base. It's blocked. Anyways. Yeah. I mean, Clem definitely isn't in a great spot here, but it's also not something that he cannot recover from. Creep spread is looking ridiculously nice. Elazer going for the most mobile army on an incredibly large map. Makes a lot of sense. Try and abuse some of that Zerg mobility even more so. That's probably also the reason why Clem has decided not to play mech. You really need to know the map a little bit better to know where you need to put down structures and what sort of expansion pattern you want to take. Usually having a more mobile army is going to be superior. Once again, though, Elazer collapsing on top of as many of those units as possible. He probably would have loved to have units coming in from the other sides as well, but in that case, those rocks need to be down. Not really ever any winning engagements right here for the Terran, though, right? Yeah, I mean, that was something. There's a lot of Widow Mines on the back of it, though. Alright. Couple of Burrowed Banes over here. One Burrowed Baneling over here as well. Alright. I guess Elazer doesn't have Widow Mines, but he's trying his very best. Now, one big advantage right here for Terran is the fact that 3-3 can be produced with just having an armory out. So 1-1, you can start that right away when the NG base finishes, and then in order to go into 2-2 and then eventually 3-3, you need to have an armory out. For Zerg to go into 2-2 upgrades, they need to be at Lair, but in order to go into 3-3, they need to be at Hive Tech. So Elazer, since he was playing Mutiling Bane, he's gone for a mid-game army. Yes, he's got a very nice amount of units. Yes, he's cleaning up those drops easy peasy. But he doesn't have a late-game transition just yet. There's gonna be like a... Oh, very nicely done right there by Clem, hiding those Widow Mines. That's a lot of dead Mutalisks. Anyways, there's going to be a good amount of time here where our Terran player will have the upgrade lead. Okay. We're already becoming next door neighbors 15 minutes into the game. Hello, Clem. You have to pay attention to your army. Elazer is not letting his foot off the gas, though. Yeah, he knows that Terran really wants to grab map control at this point. There's the big investment by Zerg going into the +3/+3, going into the adrenal glands as well. Once those upgrades are done, Zerg is going to feel quite a bit more comfortable, but it's going to still be some time. I think it's about time as well, though, that we get rid of those rocks here, right? At that point, Terran is going to be able to push across very easily. Yeah, the more I look at this map layout, the more I like it. Very nice. It's also very legible and very nice to look at, right? I like green, right? Green is nice. No, but seriously, it's a very pretty looking map. It's very Protoss-y, I suppose. Kind of ironic that we have a Terran versus Zerg on it. Beautiful splits. Elazer's playing a very fast game of StarCraft so far. Mutas are waiting on the right side of the map, so they're not going to be able to help out. Okay, now that was a decent hit there. 14 kills with that Widow Mine. Okay, Planetary Fortress is over here, so maybe some of these SCVs are going to be able to escape if they run fast enough. Ooh, a little bit of indecisiveness right there by Elazer. I think he could have actually killed a lot of SCVs there if he decided to go for it, but... Bit indecisive, and yeah, you blink once and his units are dead. Eventually the store at the front will go down as well. Clem trying to establish a foothold right here in the center. Mutas joining into fray as well. Dude, there's so much action on this map. Whew. These guys have been going for the throat for the better part of 10 minutes now. A couple of Vipers apparently added into the mix. Okay. Yeah, so notice how Elazer is not going into Ultralisks or anything along those lines. Ultras are just an excuse for Terran to switch into into Ghosts. Generally speaking, unless you're very marine focused or you're very far ahead, Ultras just don't really do much. Planetary is done though. Yeah. Planetary is going to be quite helpful as long as it stays alive, which is not very long. Elazer did decide to throw a lot of units into it, but you can see that his gas bank at this point is depleted, so he is reinforcing this with a ton more Zerglings, which is nice and all. But mining some additional gas might not necessarily be a bad idea. He's basically just trying to throw as many Banelings at this Terran problem as he can, and while in theory that works quite well against weaker Terran players, Clem is extremely good at micro, and you can see he's backing off right there between those structures brilliantly. Another command center apparently though has been tasked with going down towards that low ground. Elazer trying whatever he can to prevent that from happening. He knows very well that if this base is not established, Terran is going to start running out of money. The right side base will definitely run low here. And this one is also only a couple minutes behind that one on the right. But it looks to me like Clem is going to be able to establish that base in the center relatively easily. I mean, he already lost it once, but... I say that. Once again, man. Elazer is just going at it. Normally we see Zerg players waiting for upgrades before they push, but apparently Elazer is like, nope. Gotta go fight. My Banelings need me. You know what? Yeah, once again, Council right there on that orbital. Even SCVs are loaded into the command center right now to try and... Oh, stay alive for a little while longer. SCVs are being destroyed as well. My god, Elazer is playing a really impressive game of StarCraft 2. I actually do think that Elazer is like very underrated by the average StarCraft fan. He's very good. Like once upon a time, it was like a question whether or not like he was like the second best Zerg player in Europe, or if that was like Raynor, for example. Sarah was always very good, but obviously since that moment, yeah, Raynor has definitely proved himself, but I do think a lot of people kind of, especially if you hear like Clem versus Elazer, I mean, knowing how good Clem's Terran versus Zerg is, I think a lot of people would be like, okay, that's going to be a Clem victory for sure, but Elazer is very strong when he's feeling it. Oh my god. I would not want to be a unit inside of Elazer's army. Look at the amount of stuff that he's throwing at this Terran player so far. Using the speed up circles as well, by the way, almost like asking the Terran player to go in there. Obviously, this melee Zerg army, yeah, definitely is going to have an easier time closing the distance to those biological Terran units at ranged. Alright, Clem did secure the base here eventually. Here we go once again, though. Rinse and repeat. Oh, huge Widowmine hits. And I think that's gonna force Elazer to, at the very least, chill for a second, right? Mutas do heal very quickly out of combat, but these guys are gonna need at least half a minute or so. Never mind. Don't tell Elazer I said that. He strongly disagrees. So rather than going for like... Yeah, rather than going for like Ultralisks, he's gone for a Viper. Viper just to add in some parasitic bomb damage on the Medivacs. Not bad whatsoever. It deals 120 damage, area of effect. I think Medivacs have 150 life, if I'm not mistaken, so... We've seen a lot of dead Medivacs, actually, this game. How many? 21! That is a lot. Yeah. That's a lot. 10 Thors as well. My god. 528 Zerglings, 74 Mutas, 140 Banelings. Whew. Why are we sending the drones over there when we have a hatchery over here that's been done for like 10 minutes? Doesn't matter, Lowko. Don't ask questions. Now, believe it or not, even pro players in StarCraft 2 only play with one monitor. They don't have two monitors to, like, observe the game on. I know. Kind of crazy. They have to look at the battles if they want to not lose their stuff. Oh, you saw that Viper abduct? Not happening. Anyways, the Thor still does go down eventually anyways. Queens once again laying down the creep tumors, but Clem starting to push back. It's been the Zerg player pushing for the majority of this game, but it seems to me that the momentum is starting to swing in the favor right here of the Terran player, right? Slowly but surely, the creep is being pushed back. The base over here is established. There's one Baneling still hiding over there, but it looks like eventually, I think it's one of the missile turrets over there, is providing detection. Command center even planted on location here. That's a very ballsy move. Yeah, I don't even think it was that good of a one either, but anyways, Terran eventually is gonna get at least some of that overwhelmed, but the command center apparently lives. Command center SCV right here laughs in the face of danger. At this point, though, the muta count is very high. I think they're also at +3 flyer attacks. Yeah, +1 armor. So these guys, they deal a lot of damage. They're going to be able to kill a lot of these Terran units with relative ease as they pop out of those production structures of Terran 2. Oh. Thor at the very edge of the main base, still dealing a lot of damage. All right, here we go again. Look at how fast those Zerglings are running. Even the Widowmine can't actually defend against that. Banelings, though, looking to hunt down those SCVs once again. And I think the SCVs are going to be cornered. Oh, yep. Those are dead. There's even more Banelings on the back of this, too. I think the command center is going to go down. Yeah, at the very least, Clem did cancel the morph right there to a planetary, so he got some of his money back. Whew. All right. Clem's like, wait. Momentum was swinging in my favor. What do you mean? Elazer doesn't understand how a pendulum works. Go, go, go. I mean, the mutas deal so much damage. Normally, mutas are like paper weights, but they have dealt so much damage here this game so far. Looks to me like, yeah, he's not switching out of it either. He's just like happily making these units. 98 dead mutas. That's a lot. That's a lot of dead mutas. Alright. Orbital command this time around. Did he just unburrow the Zergling that was blocking this? Yeah, he did. I guess he just really wants to grab this one of his own. Although it probably is a good idea to put that... I think it can go like an entire square closer, no? I think so. Anyways. He's just going full bulldozer Zerg through all of those Terran Widowmines. It's a very dangerous move to make. Like, one of them has to backfire and Terran's going to be at a huge advantage. But so far, it looks like, yeah, if you micro against it well, it's going really, really well for the Zerg. 70 supply lead right now for Elazer. But obviously, as we've seen, these top-level Terran players are extremely resilient. I would say that Maru is probably the scariest... That one is way misplaced. 100%. Anyways, we know that Maru is one of the scariest defensive Terran players in the world. Clem, though, certainly also capable of doing a very similar thing. Here we go again. That would have mine a little too far away. Nope. A lot of damage over there being done. That was a good hit right there for Clem. This is wild. Like, at this point, I'm exhausted just observing and talking about the game, right? Imagine playing it. There's a level of stamina that's required to play this. I know that Elazer is big on the cardio. I know he's a runner. I don't know about Mr. Clem. I can imagine that, like, actual cardio does help out in long games of StarCraft. Maybe I'm crazy, but... I mean, even Burrow Banelings right there in the middle of it, but Clem a little too good for that. It's really easy to start slipping on that sort of thing. That sort of stuff, right? I think you need to put down some static defense over here, Clem. I think maybe a few bunkers in this area would not be bad either, because we've been fighting for this location for, well, most of the game. Elazer finally heading on over towards the right side of the map, but I honestly don't think it's really worth it anymore, because these bases are running very low. Throwing a ton of resources at these might not necessarily be effective, but at the very least it's... Yeah, it's drawing the Terran's army a little bit further away from this location, right? Because Terran does have to respond to it. Question is, how much of an army do you actually want to commit towards defending the right side of the map?
Forces are under attack.
A lot of Banelings right there morphing in. Apparently Elazer is sending a really significant chunk of his force on the right side of the map, and once again, Banelings rolling in. Oh, I think he should have just attack moved them. Probably would have been a little bit more efficient, but he was probably busy looking at the other fight as well. 100 on the dot. Couple of Banelings burrowed in the mineral line as well. We all have seen the big SCV transfers, right? Usually it's done... Oh my god, even a scan over here? Nicely done by Clem. Anyways, normally it's done to the closest by mineral field, so I could 100% imagine like these being boxed onto that mineral patch. That would have been a potential disaster, but Clem doing a good job avoiding it. All right. How many factories do we have? Okay, we do have 3 factories. Okay, that's quite a lot. There is a Ghost Academy as well, but apparently Clem doesn't want to switch towards the Ghosts. Believes he can win just for playing Marauder and Medivac Mine. So any unit that starts with the M. And Thors, apparently. Sorry about you guys, but... Anyways, Planetary falls on the right side of the map. Elazer is playing a very impressive game of StarCraft 2. Yeah, he's happily mining whatever mineral field he can. We're coming up on 4 digits worth of Zerglings that have died this game. Fun fact, the observer interface that I use was never made or never tested with 4 digits worth of dead Zerglings. Because soon it's gonna glitch out if you get over to 1,000. Yeah. It's not gonna display it in the most optimal way. Pretty funny. I guess when this UI was made a few years ago, it was uncommon for Zerglings to die. Let alone 1,000 of them. Well, we saw a lot of Zerglings die, but... Generally, Zerg would transition out of stuff, right? But I guess over, like, the last 3-4 years of StarCraft 2, we've kind of learned that, like, yeah, actually, Link Bane. Probably the best unit composition you can go for as a Zerg player. That and the focus on spellcasters. Speaking of which, wouldn't mind seeing a few Vipers... You know, a few more Vipers added into the mix. Maybe an Infestor or 2. That would be pretty good. Elazer's like, no. That would soak into my Baneling production. I need to make 100 of them. Elazer's been ahead as far as the income goes for a very long time. But his trades are also incredibly inefficient. Losing way more money here than the Terran player. Alright. There's burrowed Banelings everywhere. This map seems really hard, by the way, for Terran, if I'm looking at it right now. There's so many areas to cover. Clem also hasn't, like, tried pushing here, right? For quite some time. I mean, he tried pushing onto the creep, but other than that, he's been with his back against the wall for the better part of this entire game. Alright. Very expensive here, Mr. Elazer. Are we... Okay, I was gonna say, are we really gonna do that? Oh, it was bait! What? Oh. There's 2 Banelings! He wants to wait until he gets the juiciest marine clump. Elazer playing, the ultimate patience game over here. He's like, no. 10 marines is not enough. I want the big bada boom. Alright. Base in the middle in a little bit of trouble. It's like, come on, walk into... Hey, there we go. Beautiful move right there by Elazer. That actually requires serious patience. I would have triggered that 17 times already. Anyways, because of that Baneling detonation, the Marines will be pushed back. Elazer remaxing again with 13 more Mutalisks. Alright, base in the top left, though, has been dried up. All of these bases are dried up. Actually, the first game I'm seeing on this map, we're running out of money. Sure, there's 95 workers here, but there's definitely not 40 plus mineral patches for them to mine from at this stage in the game. So Elazer's got a lot of supply caught up in units that don't really do a whole lot. 32 right here on 3 mineral or 4 mineral patches is not gonna cut it. Alright. Terran still has a little bit marine comp, but also not that much. Keep in mind that, like... Oh my god, that was a big hit. Keep in mind that, like, Elazer is mining both top left as well as bottom right. So, even though his traits are incredibly inefficient, he is mining one base that was theoretically supposed to be the Terran. I think it's this one. But it's already mining out. Alright. Very nice splitting right there. Are you seeing those Baneling splits? I'm very impressed by Elazer in this game. Yeah, great stuff. Okay, one Thor goes down. Dies really quickly as well, right? Mutos with +3, we don't see them often, but they actually, they pack a punch. It's not even that many of them. Alright. This is where Clem is currently getting his income. Elazer is currently not really getting any income anywhere. I mean, he still has some mineral fields that are left over, but very soon we're actually going to start running out of stuff. I think it's about time we stop fighting off creep, Mr. Elazer. He's like, no, Lowko. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Dum, boom, boom, boom. Alright. Yeah, I can imagine that this is going to be a pretty good map for Zerg overall. I mean, obviously it's way too early to say, but the mobility is extremely good for Zerg. That being said, I mean, it's not necessarily terrible for Terran either. I'm just thinking it's mostly bad for Protoss, but... Anyways. This is, a bit of a banger, huh? There's one Widowmine burrowed right over there. Alright, where are we gonna go from here? What are we gonna do? Ooh, nice Widowmine connection. I'm pretty sure the strategy is just do more of the same. For both of these guys. It's almost like they've decided to suddenly play mono battles. Or I guess, I don't know, trio battles. Where they both get to make 3 units and 3 units only. Alright, well, never mind. Infestors are added into the mix. So usually, when the money runs low, Zerg usually has quite a lot of resources tied up in gas. So, Infestors, I like the idea a lot, right? So, Infestors have an ability called Fungal Growth. That probably means that they go and should see a doctor. But secondly, I guess it means that they can slow down and deal damage to especially big clumps of Terran bio units. At this point, obviously, Clem, I mean, he must be lulled into just playing Marauder Medivac. He's probably not going to transition here anytime soon towards Ghosts. I mean, if he was going to, I feel like he would have already done so. I feel like Maru would be sniping Mutalisks. Okay, that's a lot. 27. If they get on top of these Medivacs for a split second, half of them are dead. Like half of the mutas, or sorry, half of the Medivacs, that is. Okay, that's a command center that's gonna die, I think. Okay, he decided not to trigger it. Clem's resilience, though. Insane. Oh, nice Widowmine connection. Eight more mutas. Alright, here's the infestors. I don't think they've been scanned yet. I don't think that Terran knows that there's infestors out. This could actually backfire so hard. Okay, let's see. They're still over here on the left side of the map. Drones are pulled as well towards the front. Elazer has found 32 or so that were in that location. Okay, infestors coming in from the back. Couple of nice fungals. Obviously, it also deals damage to air units, so these Medivacs are going to start running low. Huge fungals again. Elazer, though, not really with the follow-up. He was thinking about jumping on top of it, but he doesn't actually have that much. There's only 14 mutas, or sorry, Zerglings right now. He can't really afford Zerglings anymore. Same, I guess, is going to be set right here for Terran. Terran doesn't have that much stuff. This Zerg army looks menacing because of the drones in there, but... What a game. Terran's getting a little bit of income over there. Zerg is getting a tiny bit of income over here too. But that really is about it. Those are the last mineral fields on the map. Here's the SCVs fighting the drones. Really? Nearly 40 minutes of Terran versus Zerg comes down to SCVs fighting drones. Apparently, Elazer realizes what might be coming up next. Decides to snipe a bunch of those SCVs. Fair enough. Elazer normally has overlords to spare, but not in this particular game. Only 17 of them, so I probably shouldn't lose him. Alright. Couple of drones. Are we gonna really try and mine this base? There's one pesky creep tumor over here that's gonna deny that. Alright, Clem is lifting the structures. Oh my god, okay. How many games have I titled Game of the Year yet? This year? I think I've only titled one video Game of the Year so far, guys. It's already March. Is this the Game of the Year? I mean, it's a good one. I'm gonna switch on over from the production tab to the units tab. So I think it bears repeating here that the actual win condition for a game of StarCraft 2 is to destroy all of your opponent's structures. Well, I don't think that Terran's going to be able to do that here anytime soon, as long as those mutas are out. Elazer is pushing into whatever he can. Dealing a lot of damage. Those little bounces of the mutas also get upgraded with the attack upgrade, so they do really deal a lot of damage. Alright. Terran, improving his income. The mineral income right now for Elazer is dead 0. He's got 14 minerals and a dream. He's got a lot of gas, but like gas alone is not going to do anything for you. Oh my god, okay. So this is it, huh? This is the army for the Zerg. Exactly what does Terran have at this point? Only 23 Marines. So those guys have to share like two Marines per Medivac. It's not a bad trade, I guess. These are millionaire Marines. Yeah, makes sense, I guess. Don't build an additional supply depot. Just give the supply depots you already have a little hat. Alright. Infestors in the speed up zones! Any Marine kill right now is good. Any Marine kill here is fantastic for Zerg. Yeah. There's not that many units. God, infestors are good in those circles. They can pop in and out so easily. Here we go. Elazer has decided to commit. He wants to win this game right here, right now. SCP's not running away from this, and I think he's done it. GG is cold. And in an incredibly long game of Terran versus Zerg, where pretty much the entire map is mined out, it is going to be our Zerg player who obtains the victory. Emerald Princess is looking very promising. Very cool map. Hey, by the way, if you made it all the way until the end of this video, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. That way the YouTube algorithm may very well pick up this video. Hey, thank you very much.